Another brick fan with a Star Wars set. This is the Endor Speeder Chase Diorama. This is set 75353. It was released in May 2023. It has 608 pieces, 3 minifigures, and cost about $80 when it was released. This is one of 5 dioramas that have been released for Star Wars over the past couple of years. And the second release this year for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. You can see the Return of the Jedi special brick down here in the corner. This is a lot like the Dagobah set, the Dagobah diorama, in the sense that it has a lot of this vegetation. This, of course, is on the moon of Endor. And as always with these dioramas, there's a quote down here, and this is by Luke Skywalker, where he says, "Quick, jam their comm link, the center switch." So it was when Luke and Leia were chasing after the scout troopers to prevent them from letting them know that they were on the planet. Not a fantastic quote, I guess, but it does make sense for the scene that we're in. There are 2 speeder bikes here that you can see, 3 minifigures, which we'll take a closer look at here in a few minutes. One thing I want to point out on the vegetation is there's actually a new vegetation piece. So this right here is that new kind of fern type piece, which is brand new for 2023. I think it looks really good in this dark green color, and there are many of them scattered throughout the diorama itself. The speeder bikes are up on clear post pieces here, and then have one of these little angled pieces. So taking a look at the speeder bike, the way it's designed, I think it looks really good in this darker nougat color. They use some axes here in the back to provide some sculpting or texturing there. The way the speeder bike is constructed is all on stud on the side here for that long nose of the speeder bike. The figure does not actually clip in this case. On this particular speeder bike, he's just held on by holding the control rods here, which are connected. Then these little areas down here would represent some more control pedals. Obviously, a minifigure is not going to be able to manipulate those. The way it connects on there is through one of these little angled pieces here and connects on top of that clear post piece there. So it provides the speeder bike with quite an angle. Now, the other speeder bike is a slightly different. It's almost the same construction, but you can see here that it has the studs exposed back here, whereas the other speeder bike, you can see right down here, has some tiles there and an ingot piece. Those tiles are not there, which allows Luke to sit here. Everything else about the speeder bike is the same. And it just connects back in here. Now, of course, there is room on the diorama to kind of put these speeder bikes wherever you'd like. So there's plenty of exposed studs along the bottom there. You can put the position the speeder bikes where you want. This is kind of the position it shows them in the diagram or on the box art. So I kind of left them there. The trees are nicely done. Large, dark brown with some sand green and stuff. There's 2 different colors of leaves here for the trees. Lots of these plant pieces, like all these fern pieces I was talking about. Down here, some of the other plant pieces, different leaves. So a very colorful representation. Now, you can see a few of the Technic pins here on the trees themselves, but overall, I think the effect is really nicely done. And it does definitely look like a very dense forest that they're driving these speeder bikes through. Let's take a closer look at the minifigures now. As I mentioned in the intro, this set does come with 3 minifigures. They include Luke Skywalker in this kind of tan-colored forest camouflage. He, of course, has his lightsaber. Both he and Leia are wearing the same helmets, which look pretty nice. Leia is in a more olive green type color of woodland camouflage and has this small blaster And then we have a Scout Trooper, also with a small blaster. I think it comes with 3 blasters in the set. Kind of like the pistol style blaster. And you can see Leia has more stuff on her belt here as far as little pouches and different things here, like a holster and a pouch there. The Scout Trooper, I like the helmet. I think these Scout Trooper helmets are very nicely done. They have this good printing here that follows down along the legs, and I think they did a good job on all of these figures in keeping that printing very consistent. No arm printing on any of these. However, there is some nice printing here on the Scout Trooper with some side printing as well as some printing along the back, as well as these Rebel Trooper helmets. Then the backs of all these look very nice. Once again, the printing here and the nice shaping on the Scout Trooper helmet. The Rebel helmets look pretty good with the backs of their forest camouflage. Looks like there's hoods with those as well. Some alternate expressions for these figures here. We have a more smiling Leia and a slight grin on Luke, I guess. And then the Clone Trooper, and then the Stormtrooper, Scout Trooper does not have a alternate face. Minifigures don't have, the minifigures in the diorama don't really carry their accessories, although it is nice that they have them with them. They're all stationed on those speeder bikes. But you can set this scene up however you would like. Now that we've looked at the minifigures included with this set, let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts on the set itself. Coming back to the diorama, I really kind of like this angle of it where you can see the speeder bikes kind of maneuvering around between those trees. It really makes for a nice effect. Overall, I do like the way that this diorama has all been put together. I think it's a great representation of the Endor forest. The speeder bikes are quite well built. I'm not quite sure I like such an angled view of these. Now, it didn't look that angled on the box. I believe you can actually just take this and put it directly on the piece there if you want a more flat look for the speeder bike as opposed to that angle. Maybe the angle looks kind of nice when they're coming around making a banking turn, but then the angle here keeps him more flat. So there's options for how you present these, and then you can pull these pieces off and position the bikes in different places as well inside of the model. So overall, a very nice display piece. As far as the price goes, this is starting with price per piece, which is not always a great indicator, but in this case it's 600 pieces for $80, so well over that 10-cent per piece, which I would expect the themed pieces, the themed sets like Star Wars to be more expensive, but I think this is a lot more expensive than it should be. I would have liked to have seen this at around a $65 or less price point. I believe Lego right now is probably about 20% more than I would like to see. So if you take 20% off this, it would put it right at that $65 price range. Absolutely $60 would be even better. But pricing is what pricing is. So if you can find this on sale maybe in the next few months, I think that would be a great way to do that. I do like this 40th anniversary brick. Down here, I think that 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi is really nice brick. I think that's a good way to show off the 40th anniversary or pay homage to the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. So I thought that's very nicely done. Overall, a great display piece. I think it's going to look really good with, in conjunction with all of the other dioramas they've done for Star Wars. And I expect that these are going to keep coming. These are much bigger. They did do some dioramas back in 2020 and 2021 as gift with purchases around May the 4th, which I thought were pretty nice. Now, much smaller than this, about half the scale perhaps. I'll throw a couple pictures of those up, and I, of course, reviewed those when they came out many years ago. So once again, I'm very excited about these diorama series. I think they look really good. They did one for Indiana Jones as well, which was a great piece. And they also have one for Jurassic Park, or the Jurassic World series. with the dinosaur and the Jeep. So I believe they're going to continue to do a lot more of these dioramas over the years. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Star Wars set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I've left a link to my Star Wars review playlist up here on the screen.